But somehow there are other icons as well. Like I mentioned, one Babu Jagjeevan Ram. Like I mentioned, during the first independence of struggle, 1857, there was Rani Jhalkari Bai, who
Hmm.
was fighting with Rani Lakshmi Bai. She came from a Dalit community. Till her last drop of blood, she fought against the Britishers.
Hmm.
You look, come to cultural sphere. You look at Kabir, who talk of social inclusion. You look at Ravidas, who talks of social inclusion. They're all speaking about reformation. They're all
Hmm.
speaking about social reformation. So historically, the left-wing intellectuals
Yeah.
they selectively pick the quotes of Ambedkar and sort of try to appropriate them, or probably misappropriate them. I would say.
Yeah.
You look at Dakshini Velayudhan. She was the first Dalit woman member of the, or probably the only Dalit woman member of the Constituent Assembly that drafted the Constitution of India. She speaks about vehemently against the reservation.
Yeah.
So
Oh. Hmm.
that tells you the amount of diversity which was there during that time. So focusing on Ambedkar is fine, but at the same time, you should also work on creating other icons as well.
Yeah.
Today is 29th, day after tomorrow, we have Shahid Udham Singh Ji's birth anniversary. He came from a Dalit community.
Hmm.
And this man goes to London via different European countries to avenge the killing of Jallianwala Bagh.
Yeah.
उससे बड़ा आतंकवादी होगा क्या कोई? तो ये जो कॉन्सेप्ट है कि वो हिंदुत्व नेशनलिज्म मैट्रिक्स में दलितों का स्थान नहीं है, ये
Hmm.
कॉन्शियस, इसको हम लोगों को समझना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इन सब आइकॉन्स को 12वीं शताब्दी में कल्लावे हुई. Kalavi was the first Dalit woman poet ever recorded in our culture and civilization.
Yeah.
She aggressively spoke about reforms. So there is no question of divorcing the Dalit thought beyond the Hindutva matrix. It's a very important point because even when Baba Sahib Ambedkar probably chooses a religion, because when he says that I was born a Hindu, but I will not die a Hindu. But you look at this, he chooses a religion that is closest to, I would say it's an Indic religion,
Yep.
Buddhism. There were
Yep.
many overtures from Christianity, there were many overtures from Islam, but he was aware of this fact and he has recorded that if I, by any stroke of imagination, I go and convert to Islamism, the country would break.
Yep.
So the man chooses a religion, a faith which is closest to this land, and probably there were a lot of introspection going on as well. I would again say it's a matter of research.
Hmm.
He died after 56 days of converting to Buddhism. There were massive revolts happening against Ambedkar on conversion. This we not speak of.
Hmm.
Babu Jagjeevan Ram, Bhola Paswan Shastri, these guys. And why don't we speak of Jogendranath Mandal? You
Hmm.
talk of Dalit Muslim Alliance,
Yeah.
this guy who is a Dalit who goes on probably got allured by the Islamic forces on become the ambassador of Dalit Muslim unity. In
Yeah.
his 48 pages letter of resignation, he has mentioned about the atrocities that were meted. The leadership in Pakistan, they said, who is going to clean our toilets when the Dalits
Hmm.
leave?
Yep.
Today, the biggest beneficiary of the CAA are going to be the Dalits, the Bhils, and the Meghwals.
Yep.
What sort of narrative are we talking about, sir?
I have seen that it doesn't really matter what if you're a Dalit, if you're a middle caste, you're an upper caste, Rajput, whatever. Indians in general are fiercely patriotic. Like general Indians. I'm not talking about the overly educated South Delhi, champagne types. I'm talking about like general Indians. Indians are fiercely patriotic. And when you make the assumptions that these communities, the Dalit communities or these other communities, they actually hate India. So that's how we should be approaching, Dalit grievances. That's a cardinal mistake in my opinion, because even if they have grievances with different communities, they have a certain amount of fierce loyalty to India still. You know what I mean? Do you feel like they make that same mistake?
I would go one step ahead and I would say that they're not only deeply patriotic, they're deeply Hindu as well.
Yeah, yeah,
And that is something which irks your people who are sort of having the champagne socialist, I would say.
champagne liberals. Yeah,
So these guys are they don't have understanding of the ground. And I'm not going to repeat myself, but look at it. I think you just need to travel to, and you are someone who is from Bihar, who realizes the importance and significance that we attach to our festivals.
Yeah.
होली में क्या डिस्क्रिमिनेशन होता है, दिवाली में
Yeah.
क्या डिस्क्रिमिनेशन होता है, दुर्गा पूजा में क्या डिस्क्रिमिनेशन होता है. कुछ लिमिटेड यूनिवर्सिटीज
All
हैं, मतलब
the in my village, all the Phagua singers are from Dalit communities.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
So
my father is one of them, but a majority of them are from the Dalit community. So they
yeah,
all
yeah,
sit in the
100%.
temple complex together, and they'll sing Phagua songs all night.
Correct,
Yeah.
100%. So this is something, but at the same time, I would say, fine. These are some of the acceptable things, but when it comes to challenges, we should not
Yeah.
shy away from having conversations on challenges as well.
Yeah.
आज भी बहुत सारे गांव ऐसे हैं जहाँ पे दक्षिण की दिशा में दलितों की बस्ती होती है, क्योंकि हवा भी जो बहती है वो पूरब से पश्चिम में, पश्चिम से पूरब बहती है, तो हवा भी उनसे छू करके हमारे पास नहीं है.
Yes.
तो मैं ऐसा कह रहा हूँ कि मैं सिर्फ ऐसी बातें नहीं कहूंगा जो श्याम शर्मा को अच्छी लगे, मैं ऐसी भी बातें कहूंगा जो श्याम शर्मा को जाननी चाहिए, जो श्याम शर्मा को समझना चाहिए. इसीलिए मैं एंड दैट्स द रीजन आई एम एंजॉयिंग दिस
मैं
कन्वर्सेशन.
श्याम शर्मा मत बोल यार, लोग मेरे को गरियाने लगेंगे बार बार आके. तुमको पता नहीं है श्याम शर्मा, साले तुम बुलाते रहते हो लोगों को, तुमको कुछ पता ही नहीं है.
इससे मतलब आई डीपली
No, I know
एंजॉय.
what you're saying. You're using it as a symbol. I understand. But sorry, go ahead.
In my other podcast, the
Yeah.
amount of time which I have seen, obviously, one, you come from this state, and yes, see, the three fundamental civilizational document from inception to the current age, I would say Mahabharata, Ramayana, and the Constitution of India. You look at the authorship of all these three documents. Vyasa wrote or recorded Mahabharata. Valmiki recorded Ramayana, one of the most authentic versions.
Yeah.
Ambedkar wrote the Constitution. So the three authors of these three foundational documents were the so-called Dalits, if you look at the social structure now. So I think civilization that is guided by these people, so it's a very temporary thing, and it's not a cause of concern. People, for the sake of politics, and obviously because OIC is politically convenient for a section of intelligentsia and a section of politician. So societies, they transcend politics. We should understand this. Societies generally have a larger shelf life as compared to the political systems. So it's like I said, for good or bad, we have democracy, because once Nehru made a very special comment about democracy. He said that democracy is probably the second best alternative of good governance. Then the journalist asked him, "What is the first one according to you?" He said, "It is yet to be discovered." So, it's just the vagaries of democracy. So we have forces like this, more politics, and as long as there is representation, because the people who speak of Jai Bhim Brigade, the Communist Brigade, the people on the left side of the spectrum, they don't have voice. They don't have representation from the community. What we need now is voice. What we need now is representation, because there is going to be no choice without voice.